Good morning. I'm Alex Treadway, the Associate Publisher of Route 50. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Government of Everything, Data and Our Connected Future. Today's event is the final stop of our 2019 Roadshow series. Along the way, we've spoken with audiences and leaders in Miami, New York, Sacramento, Austin, and now here in Chicago. All of our Route 50 events across the country bring together innovators and leaders like you to discuss some of the biggest themes in federal, state, and local, exploring the transformative strides of government agencies and what they're doing and making in terms of technology and innovation. For those of you who are not familiar with Route 50, we are the state and local publication of Government Executive Media Group. We're covering best practices, technology, and innovation across the country. Our journalists are dedicated to surfacing and covering stories most important to state and local government leaders and serving you through original reporting, research, and events. Our aim is to bring to light best practices happening at all levels of government, allow people to connect with each other, to share ideas, and help you navigate this ever-changing landscape, which is exactly what we're hoping to do with you today. If you've not already, please be sure to check us out at route50.com, and that's actually spelled out, ROUTEFIFTY.com, not RTF50, or please just spell it out. And then if you're there also, please sign up for our popular newsletter. And all of Government Executive Media Group, it's actually the one that's the most open and the most coveted. Please check it out. We're looking forward to a morning of important conversations with leaders across government, academia, and more, concerning innovative concepts and how government across all levels can achieve connected data platforms and the Internet of Things, driving analytics to produce actionable insights that are ultimately impact citizens' lives for the better. Before I introduce our keynote speaker, we want to encourage you to continue the conversation online. Please tweet your thoughts, comments, and questions using hashtag RFRoadshow. This morning's event would not be possible without the generous support of our elite underwriter Guidehouse. Please help me welcome to the stage Chris O'Brien to give some opening remarks.
Thank you very much for introducing me, Alex, and for all coming out here today. We're really excited about the conversation that's going to take place here today. A little bit about Guidehouse. We are the former public sector practice of PricewaterhouseCoopers. We were set free by the accountants, and now we're able to be creative and socially acceptable in public and all that kind of stuff. We also just recently merged with Navigant locally here in Chicago, so we bring a lot of depth in both state and local government, public sector, but also commercial, and quite a bit of thinking in the world of technology and Internet of Things. For me, this is a really sort of interesting event. I got my career in government started here in Chicago about 20-something years ago as the CIO of the city here, and back then, we were sort of trying to bring the city into the internet age as the internet was sort of becoming more of a factor in businesses and organizations. We were trying in the city of Chicago to keep up. And back then, it was really a question of sort of how do we manage and organize all of the stuff that we have, all this data that we have, which at that point was fairly simple data, but we were trying to figure out how to figure out how we handle property data and spatial data and all that kind of stuff, and really sort of trying to figure out a way to organize it all. And now, it strikes me that we talk about Internet of Things, and a lot of us sort of being either in the vendor space or working within government or adjacent to government, we like toys, we like things we can play with. And so in our governments, we like to put cameras and sensors and things in the roads and on our water meters and things like that. But it creates the same problem we've always had, which is how do we manage all this stuff that it produces? How do we get the information to speak to us in one common way and come together in a way that we can organize? So it strikes me that what we really have here, as much as we like to talk about toys and the neat things that technology can do, is a problem of organization and sort of data management at really massive scale. With the amount of data that's coming at us as policymakers, how do we make it not be noise, which from my experience going around to cities all over the world, that's really what Internet of Things data is right now. It's just noise. So I'm curious to hear today from our speakers who come from a lot of different backgrounds, both nationally and internationally, but also here locally, about, sort of not only what can these toys do, but how do we organize them as policymakers and make them work for us and provide insights that we can help to improve the quality of life of our citizens and sort of to move our communities forward. So with that, welcome everybody. Enjoy the day. Hopefully we all have a chance to connect with each other. We have some interesting thought leadership on the topic over there at the Guidehouse booth, which is really the only booth here, so you should have no trouble finding it. I'll turn it back to Alex.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you again to Guidehouse for helping us bring together such an impressive group this morning to discuss these very important issues. And now, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage our keynote speaker, Charlie Catlett. Charlie joins us this morning as the Senior Computer Scientist at the Department of Energy's Argonne National Laboratory. He's also the Senior Fellow at the University of Chicago's Mansueto Institute for Urban Innovation and the founding director of the Urban Center for Computation and Data, which is a joint Argonne National Laboratory and University of Chicago Research Center, bringing together scientists, technology, and policymakers to use computation and data analytics to understand the design and resilient operations of cities. This morning, he'll be discussing Chicago's groundbreaking Array of Things project, which has been described as a fitness tracker for the city. We're excited to have him kick off this morning to please talk about these important issues. Please welcome to the stage Charlie Catlett.